Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello and welcome to my channel, How to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. I've chosen a winter scene for this one and we'll make it an evening sky. So I've just stretched the paper, which means wetting it both sides, just removing the excess water from around the edges, just to minimise any runbacks. I'm leaving a thin film of water on the paper. I'm just going to say a quick shout out to Chrissy Canvas Art. She's an acrylic artist, so if you want to pop across to her channel, I'm sure she'd welcome you. And also another shout out to a young fella by the name of Rabbit Black. He's a plein air painter and he's just new to YouTube. So this is just some cadmium orange, just in the bottom here, and I just want to dry off a little bit of an area there. Put that in quite weak at that point, and just strengthen up, not too much, just a little bit. Just strengthen it up slightly. Cadmium yellow deep, and I actually want to just make a little break in the line there, just to give it a little white flash. This is French ultramarine and alizarin crimson. Just mix it with the yellow. I've got the board laying flat at the moment. Just strengthening this bit up a little bit. As you know, it will dry an awful lot lighter, about 20 to 30% lighter. I kind of like that where it is. I'm just going to dry off this river area. And I just want to drop a little bit of cadmium orange in them where the snow is. Snow doesn't have to be blue as it's evening. I just put a little touch of the purple in here. And I think for the moment that's all I want to put in there. We're going to leave this to dry off a little bit and then we'll strengthen up some parts of the sky. Okay, the shine's just starting to disappear off the paper, so what I'm going to do now is just strengthen up the sky. It's the same colour as before, French ultramarine and alizarin crimson. I'm just testing this for strength and spread. It should be okay. I'm just gently going to put some soft clouds coming in. You can bring it into the yellow. Stand back and have a look. Really strengthening the top part up now. This will help pull your eye into the painting. The board is still laying flat. You are tempted to fill the light bits in. You must resist that. This is a mixture of French ultramarine, cadmium yellow deep and burnt umber, and it's quite thick. And I'm just going to break the brush open and we're just going to test it for spread. It's on the green side, but I think we'll add a bit more burnt umber to that. I'm just going to drop in some misty background trees, and I am going to allow this to spread. Just taking a rigger brush, and I think we'll just pull a few tree trunks in. It's like connecting the dots. And I just want to soften the bottom edge off of these trees, so just a damp brush just helps. Maybe just a hint of undergrowth, just to hide the bottoms of the tree trunks. And then we're going to leave that to dry. As you can see, as the paper dries down the sky, I clip it just to keep it flat, to stop it drying out, and I keep the bottom half of the paper wet so that it will stay continually stretched. I'm going to take some of your original sky mixture, which is the weaker one, French ultramarine and alizarin crimson, and I'm going to put a hard edged cloud in here, and I'm going over the hills. I'm not really bothered because we'll be sorting it out in a bit. I'm just going to bring some hard edged clouds just for a little bit of interest in the sky. You don't have to do this, you can, if you're following this and you don't want to. I don't want to overdo this, so I'm just checking each time I put something in whether it's not too much. Just softening it as we come into the hills here. Okay, and then we have to leave this to dry. Now that your clouds are dry, I'm coming back to the background hills and mountains, and I'm just putting some water on here just below where the clouds are, and just running it in just to create the shape of the background hills and mountains. There is a line of trees that are going in here as well, so we must be mindful of that. Taking some of your stronger sky colour mixture, you can start to put your hills and background mountains in, or background hills, and if you just start above the water and pull into it, you can actually leave a hard edged hill and allow the rest of it to drift into the water, creating a little bit of mist, and that's what I'm looking for. Just create an interesting shape, tapering off into nothing there. Just gently soften the bottom edge off, and you see how some of the orange is showing through. I do want this to be soft. I think I'm going to leave that like that. Just take a little bit of paint off here if we can, and then I'm afraid we have to leave this little bit to dry. Now that your background hills are dry, we can put the background misty trees in. So I'm just running the line of water, you've seen me do this before, clean water, just along the bottom. Then taking a flat brush and some of your sky colour, just mixing it a little bit more. Just check the strength of it. Okay, I think that'll do. Just breaking up the lines so they all look different. Don't have them all the same size. As you come through the water, the paint comes off the brush and it automatically goes lighter as you move into the distance. And just for a bit of good measure, I'm just going to drop some cadmium orange in places, soften it in, and once again, yes, you've guessed it, we're going to leave this to dry. I'm just going to take some aureolin, I just want to bring this across the sky there. And what this does, if you see, it allows you to strengthen up the sky slightly, but where you've left the white marks before underneath the paper, with aureolin being transparent, you can see the paper underneath it. This is a mixture of French ultramarine, burnt umber and cad yellow deep. I'm just going to put the tops of some of these trees in the background. Put the tops of the background trees in. This is French ultramarine, burnt umber and cad yellow deep. I think we'll just put one in here as well, I think. So I can't do a straight line. Just put the tops in for now. Some clean water. I'm just wetting the ground area, just in the middle ground as it comes into the foreground, but I'm not wetting past these bushes. I want to leave a white strip of land. There, taking some of my cadmium orange, and we'll keep it weak, just spotting it in. A little bit of your sky colour, French ultramarine and alizarin crimson, and we'll just create a little bank here, a little bit in shadow, just to pull it back, trying to leave some of the white paper showing, just softening it in and just weakening it off as we spread it round. And then we're going to leave this to dry. Now the land's dry, we can come back to our trees again, and we can continue to put these in. I'm using a goat hair mop brush for this. Same colour as before, French ultramarine, burnt umber with some cad yellow deep. Put another couple in here. I want that one to be just a little taller. Taking some of my sky colour once again, watering it down so it's very thin. Just adding a little shadow. Then we're just going to leave that to dry for a minute or two. Okay, moving forward now that the background trees are dry, or this row of trees. Now I'm just going to put the tops of these in once again. This is French ultramarine with a touch of Prussian blue and cadmium yellow deep with some burnt umber. I'm using a rigger brush to get the tops in. And once I've got the tops in, I'm just going to take my goat hair mop brush. These are them tall, skinny French ultramarine with a touch of Prussian blue and burnt umber, just to add the trunks in, bringing some of the dark into the tree. And we come round to these three, the tops in. Back to my goat hair mop brush again. Again, taking some of your dark and just dropping it in. French ultramarine Prussian blue with a touch of burnt umber. Taking a little clean water and just softening your bottoms off just into the ground. Just attaching them to the painting, creating some shadow. Soften the bottoms right off. Put these bushes in, just using some of that very dark green. Or is it the black? I don't know, I can't remember now. I think it's the black. French ultramarine, Prussian blue with a touch of burnt umber. Once again with a damp brush, just soften the roots in. Once again, this is the burnt umber Prussian blue, French ultramarine. I'm just going to put a dead fir tree in here. Dead evergreen, depends what you want to call them. Oh, this one's have a slight lean. Use a bigger brush, now we come down the trunk. Just adding interest into the foreground. Some sky colour. Just want to pull some water over this waterfall, and I'm just using the side of the brush. So it's one of them things where less looks more, and I'm looking for a hit and miss effect. That's all I want to do to that, and I want to wet the river. Take some cadmium yellow deep, that's in just in this corner here, horizontal strokes. Just a little touch of cadmium orange there. Some of your sky colour. Just drop a little reflection in. I'm just going to add a little bit more burnt umber to that, just to darken it right down. Maybe there's some deep water here, a little bit. There's a deep pool there, stronger mix of your sky colour. Deepen this down a little. Just re-wetting this bank area, same on this side. Just letting it sit there a minute while I just soften some of this in and brush. Then with a damp mop brush, I'm going to take out a light patch down here. Try to keep this straight. Bit of kitchen towel. Once again, some of your sky colour. Little bits in here and there. Just adding a little shadow on the bank. Pull it back. we might have just a couple of birds. 3 I think. Okay, now we have to let all this dry. Okay, now that everything's dry, this is where you actually get to sign it, mount it and frame it. I've just put a few wind streaks in there with a craft knife, that's all, and a ruler. Nothing difficult at all. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click the like button and subscribe. Subscribers are always welcome, and I will leave a link in the description box to other YouTube videos that I have made, and I'll leave some suggestions on at the end of the video should you want to view them.